The great desert king had a son, and one day as the son stepped out into his father's courtyard, who should he see? Standing by the well? It was none other than smiling Death, and in his hand Death had a jagged silver blade with a thin black handle, and with this knife Death was trimming his fingernails. In no particular hurry. And then he saw the sun, and at that, Death dropped the knife, and he raised his hands. And the sun was frozen right there on the spot, and only with great effort was he able to pull himself away. And then he tore back into his father's tent, and he said, "Oh, most merciful and beloved father, just now, out in the courtyard, Death reached out his hands to snatch me away from you. I beg you, please, give me your fastest horse, that I may escape Death. I'll flee to Samara." And the king was stunned also, until he clapped his hands, and immediately his couriers brought in his fastest fire-breathing steed, and they threw onto it his best saddle and strapped it tight. And then the son leapt up onto the horse, slapped its rump, tore out through the courtyard, right past smiling Death, and escaped through the gateway and down the dusty road to Samara. Now, back in his tent, the king came to his senses, and he stormed out into the courtyard, and sure enough, there was smiling Death standing there by the well with the knife in his hand. And now with the knife, Death was picking at his teeth, which were like yellow slats in a broad picket fence. And the king stormed up to him, and he said, "How dare you? How dare you reach your hands out to snatch my son away from me? How dare you?" And Death said, "Well, King, I was not reaching my hands out to snatch your son away from you. I was merely surprised to see him here in the desert when I have an appointment with him tonight in Samara."